And welcome to Great to Code. And here we are talking about electronics, and this is a playlist about the basic of microcontroller and Intel. Like we are going to talk about introduction about microcontroller and Intel architecture. So important part is what is microcontroller. A microcontroller, you can see in this image, a microcontroller is the compact integrated circuit designed to govern a specific operation in an embedded system. So if you have an embedded system, a typical microcontroller include a processor. They have the memory and the input output peripheral on the single chip. So in the chip you have the single peripheral on the memory and processors on them. Here this can see this is the microcontroller, and this microcontroller have the oscillator, converter, RAM, microprocessor, and the program memory, internal out and peripheral. The question arises that what is the processor and controller differences have. The processor mean the natural on the legal person, public authority, agency, and other body which process personal data on the behalf of the controller, whereas processor act on the behalf of the relevant controller and under their authority. In doing so, that we can serve the controller interest rather than their own. What is the key differences between microprocessor and microcontroller? So here I talk about the microprocessor consists of only one central processing unit, whereas a microcontroller contains CPU, memory, internal output, all integrated into one chip. So microprocessor is used to personal computer, whereas microcontroller is used in the embedded system. Microprocessor uses an external bus to interface the RAM, ROM, and other peripheral. On the other hand, microcontroller uses bus. Microprocessor is complicated and expensive with a large number of the instructions. To process out microcontroller is inexpensive and straightforward with the fewer instructions in the process. What is microprocessor? So microprocessor is a controlling unit of the microcomputer wrapped inside the small chip. It performs the arithmetic logical unit operation and communicate with the other device connected with it. It is a single integrated circuit in which several functions are combined. What is a microcontroller? A microcontroller is a chip that controls the electronic device. It stores in a single integrated circuit which is dedicated to performing the particular task in the executing one specific application. It also is specially designed for the circuit to embedded application and widely used automatically controlled electronic device. It is content memory, processor, and programmable in input output. Now let's talk about types of microprocessor. Important type of the microprocessors like a complex instruction set microprocessor, the application specific integrated circuit, reduced instruction set microprocessor, digital signature multiprocessor. Types of microcontroller here, the important types like 8-bit microcontroller, 16-bit microcontroller, 32-bit microcontroller, and embedded microcontroller, external memory microcontroller. So our main focus was to understanding difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. Here I have the difference between microprocessor and microcontroller. So let's start the microprocessor versus microcontroller. Important point is microprocessor is the heart of the computer system, whereas microcontroller is the heart of the embedded system. It is the only processor, so memory and internal output component need to be connected externally. Microcontroller has the processor along with the internal memory and internal input output component. Memory and internal output has to be connected externally, so its circuit become large. Memory and internal output are already present and the internal circuit is small. You cannot use impact on the system. You can use it compact system. Cost of the entire system is high at microcontroller, cost of the entire system is low at microcontroller. Due to the external component, the total power consumption of the high, therefore it is not ideal to device running on the stored power like batteries. As external component are the low, total power consumption is less, so it can use a device running in stored power like batteries. Most of the microprocessor do not have power saving feature. So microprocessor do not have the power saving feature. Most of the microcontroller offer power saving mode. It is mainly used in personal computer PC. It is used mainly in washing machine, mp3 player and embedded systems. Microcontroller has a smaller number of the register, so more operation are memory based, whereas microcontroller has a more register, hence the program are easier to write. Microprocessor are based on the von Neumann model. Microcontroller are based on Harvard architecture. Microcontroller, like a microprocessor, it is a central processing unit on a single silicon based integrated chip. It is a byproduct of the development microprocessor with the CPU along with the other peripheral. It has no RAM, ROM input output unit, timers and other peripheral on the chip. It has the CPU with the RAM, ROM and other peripheral embedded on the single chip. It uses the external bus to interface the RAM, ROM and other peripheral. It uses the internal controlling bus. Microprocessor based systems can run at very high speed because of the technology involved. Microcontroller based system run by the 200 mg or more depending on the architecture. It is used for the general purpose application. So microprocessor used for the general purpose application that allow you to handle load of the data. It is used to application specific system. It is complex and expensive with a large number of the instruction of process, and whereas a microcontroller is simple and inexpensive with the less number of the instruction to the process.